Hey guys, this is Alan from Queen Creek Tropicals, and today's video I'm going to be giving you some growing tips on incense passion fruit. So I have several varieties of passion fruits in the ground, guys, and one of them took me the longest to actually put it in the ground is my incense. So let's go ahead and get started, guys. When's the best time to plant incense? That is going to be usually when the night temperatures are at least 50 degrees consistently and expected to get higher. That recommendation is going to be good for most plants that we actually have here at the nursery. This plant here is really not that picky, and it's one of the easiest passion varieties to actually grow. How much sun? Full sun, guys. They can grow in the shade as well, but what usually happens in the shade is they are going to try to look for the sun. Here in my area, even in the shade, a lot of the plants do not get enough sun, so what they do is they just grow and grow until they can find the sun. But they can also take full sun anywhere in the US. Winter time, if your ground does not freeze in the winter, you will not have any issues with your incense passion fruit. They will grow just fine. They may take some frost damage in the winter time, and they will just come back during the growing season. How many plants do you need for fruit pollination? Well, this one seems to self-pollinate. It does not need a pollinator. You can see I have fruits right here, and the fruits are actually a lot sweeter than the other varieties that grow well in our area, and that's gonna be Frederick or purple possum, which is in the Passiflora udalis. They grow just fine, and no issues there. When do they fruit? Well, this one right here, I had two plants in containers. They were completely root bound. I kept forgetting to water because I was watering by hand, and the poor guys were suffering. So we decided to put them in the ground, and they have been in the ground for about, I would say, 3 to 4 months, and they were tiny, dying back because they went dry on me. But now they have grown, and on this cattle panel right here, and I think that's a lot of growth just for a few months. They grow a lot faster than most other varieties, in my opinion. The other varieties, like they usually take a few months, at least 6 months or so, to root themselves in the ground before they actually start growing. This one here, as soon as we put her in the ground, it just started growing very fast. No issues there. And fruiting and flowering, well, I have tons of flowers on this, guys, but they seem to have turned into fruit, and so no more flowers right now to show you, but they fruit. I mean, fruiting is no problem for this variety, and I like this variety a lot more than the other dark varieties that we grow here in our area because they tend to be sweeter. Let's see what else. Root system. The root system of this plant is shallow, just like any other passion fruit, guys. So water shallow for the first year or so, and then you can start deeper watering as they get older. But you always have to water this plant more often than any other plant, just because the roots don't go that deep in the ground. Do they require any special soil to grow in? No, they do not. You can see my plant right here is planted in my native soil. My native soil is clay, guys. But it drains the water, so I have no issues growing most plants in my soil. And let's see what else. Fertilization. I haven't done anything here, guys. I haven't put anything in the ground, so whatever bugs I get here in this area are the ones feeding these plants, and it's, you know, I don't do anything else. But if your soil lacks organic material, you can put some compost in the ground, some mulch, and that will be everything your plant needs. This variety, guys, grows super easy, fast, gives you tons of fruits. Now let's talk about the bad things about this variety. The main thing that most people are not gonna like are going to be caterpillars. For whatever reason, guys, every year is different. Some years is worse than others. Other years we have no issues at all. The problem that I get is, yes, butterflies are nice, but what they do is, I don't know what it is, they lay their eggs on this variety specifically and they completely decimate the plant. You can see I got holes everywhere, and there is really not much I can do about it. Soapy water doesn't work, neem oil doesn't work. To be honest, the only thing you can actually do is gonna be you know, using pesticides, but I don't like using that here, so I don't do it. So I'll just let nature do its thing, and whatever I get. So what happens is the caterpillars are gonna eat all the leaves and all the flowers, and if you have an infestation, yeah, you're not gonna get much fruit that year, and then your plant's gonna look ugly. Now, the other thing about this variety specifically are suckers. This plant has only been in the ground 3 to 4 months, guys. And I was just walking around just last week, and then I saw this guy right here. You see that right there? This is a sucker, guys. That is a passion fruit, incense. And it's about, from here to that vine over there, I would say 8 to 10 feet. And this plant has only been in the ground 3 to 4 months. Now, is that a good thing? Well, for me, I'm in the desert, I don't care. So, and since this variety specifically gets decimated by caterpillars, I just let it grow its suckers. I try to control them so that way they don't actually overtake my other plants around it. So suckers for me is no big deal, but for some people it will be. They are very easy to control. Just think of them like grass. You can mow it down. It's no big deal. But anyways, guys, Incense passion fruit, it's one of the easiest varieties to grow. The fruits are delicious. And I went to pick the fruits. Well, these fruits right here are not ready yet. This is full size right here. You can see full size. But how do I know when they're gonna be ready? Well, usually what happens as they get older, they are going to wrinkle. Like this one right here. You see that wrinkle right there? Well, most of the fruit's gonna get like that, and then you can pick it, leave it on the counter for 1-2 days, and then you can eat it. Another way you can do is just let it drop to the ground, and then you can eat it. This one here just fell off and then started ripening on the ground, but it's not gonna be good because you can see it's not full size, so it's not gonna be sweet. But yeah, guys, if you have any questions, just comment below, and I'll try to answer your questions. This variety here specifically is very easy to also propagate from cuttings. So we propagate this one by cuttings every year. Let me actually show you that real quick. So here are our cuttings right here. We have a few varieties we're propagating for next year. And this variety here takes very easily from cuttings. We did this tray right here for next year, a little late in the season, so we had to trim it down just a tiny bit. So instead of throwing the branches away, we decided to make a tray. Normally I don't propagate plants this late, but this upcoming winter I'm thinking on overhauling my heating my greenhouses, so that way they don't get too cold, so my cuttings actually grow through the winter. But yeah, so this is it, and they root very quickly. I don't have any roots coming down the bottom yet, but I would assume within the next month these guys are gonna be rooted in there. But yeah, just get the cuttings, stick them in potting mix, keep the environment humid. You need heat, and then they grow very easily. Anyways, guys, that was the Incense passion fruit. If you're trying to grow one, now you know it's one of the easiest varieties to grow. Full sun, it can take the winter, it may not look the nicest. Caterpillars are gonna be your biggest issue if you have those in your area. And as long as your ground doesn't freeze in the winter, you will be good to go. Anyways, guys, don't forget to like the video, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.